us here at Big Trees, transplanting a tree means taking an existing tree and digging it successfully and replanting it either on the same location, which you call on-site, or off-site at a new address or new location.
Big Trees is the expert at tree transplanting because of our crews and the knowledge and experience they have doing it. I have 3 separate crews that know exactly what needs to be done to have a tree survive, and I also have Todd, who's probably the best, most experienced tree transplanter in the state.
Anticipating things that could be problematic before they become a problem. That's the most valuable part of everyone's experience here. And from our laborers to our foremen to our front office, we just have a very strong group of people who have genuinely nothing more in mind than trying to see a good process through. And that's what I find is very valuable here at Big Trees.
Survival rate is really important to talk about, and typically we have a 98% success rate in transplanting. But much like a person probably going in for surgery, there are some variables you need to consider. One, is it a good candidate for the transplant? Is it a healthy, vibrant tree? Can you get the great, good-sized root ball that you need and the tree deserves for a healthy transplant? And the other third leg of that stool is that is the care or the intensive care after the surgery is done going to take place? And if all those 3 of those things are covered, we have about a 98% success rate.
The most important thing after a tree is transplanted is that it has irrigation. And it doesn't necessarily need to be a lot of water, but it needs to be consistent. So we would tell people to put it on a soaker hose or a drip line for 20 to 40 minutes per day, sometimes twice a day in the hot months, and that's about it.
Oftentimes, even with the largest trees that we move, it is done by hand. You might rough out some space with an excavator, but it's very important to hand sculpt a root ball and prep it by hand. The way you cut through the tree roots with a razor-sharp shovel has everything to do with how those roots regenerate quickly and don't become infected. So even the largest trees that might be 3 foot in diameter and weigh thousands and thousands of pounds, they are all done by hand.
Some reasons people may want to transplant trees are just to save them from construction processes or expansions or remodels, and just trying to create a more enjoyable venue for their backyards or for their homes. And those are all good reasons that people are interested in tree relocating, tree transplanting.
We work with customers to let them understand that they can save a lot of money by transplanting the tree that they already own. Because there's a rule of thumb that we use that it can cost several times the cost of transplanting to replace a tree that you already own with the same size tree. So if someone came to us and said, I have this beautiful 20-foot tree, oftentimes it'll be 5 or 6 times the cost of transplanting to replace that tree. And it makes sense, a business case at that point, to save the tree that you already have. We try to work with customers and help them understand that they have a role and responsibility in the success of any planting, whether we're transplanting an existing tree or putting in a new tree they've purchased in the nursery. That tree needs to be cared for, and it's not hard to do, but their role in determining soil moisture and the irrigation is usually critical to how much that tree will grow, how great the foliage will look, how much flower production we'll get. So we try to encourage those people to use some drip irrigation and give them tips on how to care for that tree.